Good morning, all. I wanted to share some thoughts and big realizations that I've kind of had lately. This one will kind of be about kids and parenting and the law of attraction. So, I don't want to drop my telly. It's such a beautiful day. I know it's really bright, but it's such a beautiful morning that I wanted to sit outside. So, law of attraction. I listened to this Abraham Hicks video lately, and it was specifically about career. But there was a part in it where she discussed children and how they kind of have their little spazzy freakouts. So, as she described it, what's happening there is they've come out of the vortex, they've come out of alignment with Source, and their soul is having a proper reaction to being out of alignment. They're spazzing out. And as she put it, we should all have this same type of reaction to being out of alignment and immediately find a way to get ourselves back in the vortex. So I've really kind of sat with this and thought about it and seen how I see these things happen in my son specifically, because when he's on, boy, he's on. He's just peaceful and calm and agreeable and wonderful, and just like we all are when we're having a good day or in alignment with Source and everything's flowing really well. And there are sometimes where he'll just snap, and he's loud and he's mad, and he gets this wide-eyed, just terrified look on his face, and he can't communicate, and he just yells, and then he ends up crying, and he's really upset, and then he's really sorry. And so now that I kind of have this different perception of what's happening, what I've seen happen in myself when that happens is I meet him where he's at. I come out of the vortex myself, and then I get upset, and I kind of have a little freak out. And then we're both mad, we're both upset, and we end up yelling, and someone's in timeout crying, and sometimes mom ends up in the bedroom crying just because it's so explosive. Now, Noah and I are a lot alike, especially when it comes to our tempers, so I have a tough time with him because he sets me off, I set him off, and then we both end up in the same place, and it's really challenging. But what I have decided is, well, I'll go backwards a little bit. I've been really looking at my life and paying attention to what I'm attracting lately. I've been increasingly unhappy in certain aspects of my life and bitching and complaining about them a lot, and I see how through my complaining I've been molding the experience that I'm having in those places, and it's really clear, and it's an instant manifestation of the things that I'm talking about and complaining about. So what I've decided when Noah gets upset, when my son gets upset, is that I'm going to stay in the vortex, and I'm not going to step out of it and meet him where he's at. I'm going to maintain that flow, because through the law of attraction, I will attract like. And because children are so naturally close to Source and haven't learned the behavior of stepping out of alignment as frequently as we have as adults, he should find his way back pretty quickly through the unconditional love that I provide. So whenever he's been in timeout, his entire life, even when he was really tiny, all he does is ask for a hug. He just wants love. He just wants a hug. Mom, can I please have a hug? And I've seen in some ways how he's used it as he's gotten older in a manipulative way, but I can really feel that most of the time it's just a very genuine need for love, which now makes perfect sense that if you're out of the vortex, love is alignment. And most of the time through his whole life, I have gone and just sat quietly with him and hugged him and held him. You know, we haven't really talked until the timeout's over, but I have held him and given him the hug that he needs, and he calms down and he apologizes and he sees what he's done wrong or you know, what wasn't working and what got him in trouble. So if I just stay in the vortex and I don't come out and meet him where he's at, then it should, through the law of attraction, help him and assist him getting back in the vortex quicker and becoming more in alignment. I'm excited to really put this idea into play. The last 2 days, Noah's been terrific. He's been real calm and helpful and very sweet. his normal self. And there's been a couple times where I've asked for something 2 or 3 times. Really need to get ready for school. Come on, it's time to get dressed, time to get dressed, time to get dressed. And I tried not to get upset and snap and step out of the vortex myself. And we had a beautiful morning. We had a great drop-off at school. He was happy and excited to go to school. So, again, it comes down to, like many other things I've talked about, and pretty much everything, absolutely everything. It comes down to your behavior, your reaction. Because if like attracts like, what are you doing? How are you behaving? Tough stuff to swallow sometimes when you've got shitheads in your life that are treating you poorly. But through a lack of boundaries and acceptance of being treated that way in behavior, being allowed in your life, those people being allowed to behave that way and treat you that way,